right, so let's talk about this film. So just ignore the fact that I'm holding my pocketbook. I thought I was going to be walking farther from my car than I actually was. This is where we are. And just ignore the birds. They really want to get in this video too and put their input, but it ain't about them. Am I the racist? Want to preface the video by saying when I first saw the cover of this film, I did not know that it was Matt Walsh at all until I noticed Jeremy Johns do a review of it. When I first saw the cover, I was at the theaters looking to watch Deadpool and Wolverine, which I did a review on. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go watch Am I the Racist? It was Taco Tuesday, where I was at eating my tacos and drinking my drink. There was a Cinemark right next to it, and I was like, this is perfect. A lot of different screenings for it for the day, but the ones that I was able to go to was one for 5:40 and one for 6:30. The 6:30 one was jam-packed, and I don't like going into a full theater with people because people really have no respect for people when it comes to watching a film and knowing that you paid money for this, so you want to be able to catch everything and understand what's going on in the film and not hear someone else's conversations or seeing lights from people's phones because things are on the phone are way more important than the film that they paid to watch. So I ended up going to the film at 5:40. It was maybe like 7 of us in there. As the film went on, like 2 couples ended up leaving, so it was way less. And then there was this old white bitch. And I'm mentioning this because, again, the film is Am I Racist? And she was loud as hell. She had to get up to go to the bathroom, and she was with her man yelling out to him, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. I did allow shh to her, but honestly, only because of the context, I wanted to say, shut up, old white bitch, but I didn't because that would have been way too funny. Am I Racist? Stars Matt Walsh, a DEI expert who goes around to most of these liberal states and towns, getting people to understand their racism and trying to get them to do the work. But he's also trying to understand what it really means to be a DEI expert. Understand, is he racist? Most of us probably don't know. I don't really follow him like that, but I do watch his videos every now and then. And the thing about Matt Walsh that I generally like is that when it comes to comedy, he's very deadpan with his humor. Reminds me of like the show Archer, pure deadpan humor, and that's what I love a lot. He's not looking for a laugh, but if you catch what he says and realize that he's saying it to be funny and sarcastic, then you got it. But if you are waiting for the punchline, it ain't gonna come because it's just gonna be a smooth conversation and you just gotta catch it. In the process of him going to these different towns and going to these different events, he is trying to understand how do you say this? De-white himself? De-racism himself?
Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. Where are you guys on your anti-racist journeys?
This is the type of lingo that I don't really use in everyday language. When I see people using it unironically, it really annoys me because this is stuff that you hear on social media.
Hyper-conservative, bigotry, vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language.
And then when I came to Florida, which is kind of funny, and I was looking for a job and I was really trying to get out of the restaurant job, there were sections in their applications online that mentioned DEI, which sucks, which means diversity, equity, and inclusion, which means you don't have to be good at the job. If you're black, you're hired. And you see that in certain places where you know people were hired just because of their color, because they are not that good at the job. So he is navigating these very liberal towns. He's going to like groups and trying to understand. There's a few places that he went to that I heard about prior to his film just because I'm on social media. And things like this get publicized a lot. There was this group that was led by this black woman, very light-skinned black woman. And it was a group of white people. I think one was like Spanish, but I think the majority of them are white. And she's trying to help them understand their racism because they're inherently racist because they're white. And she, as a black woman, feels uncomfortable at this present moment teaching them because of the fact that they're all inherently racist, which makes no sense. You're cashing the checks, you're depositing the money from these people that you are feeling unsafe around. Got you. Says that he's a totally different person, like his name is different. As he steps out for a second, then he comes back, people do a little bit of research on him. They know who he is, and like mob mentality, they get him to leave.
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
Even the black woman, for some reason, the people that she was scared of are the ones that she felt protected around at this present moment. Like, bitch, please. This film is primarily based around him meeting Robin DiAngelo, I think that's her name. She wrote this book called White Fragility, a white woman who goes to different companies and teaches people on how to de-white their racism, which to me just sounds really odd for a white person to tell other white people that you're racist because you're white and so you're inherently racist. Her talking to them, she's a racist too. I just feel like sometimes when you have people that say a lot of nonsense and then you throw their logic back at them, which is what Matt Walsh does a lot in this film, it tends to make their argument fall apart, but they don't even realize that their arguments are falling apart because they're so gung-ho on the ideas that they have. They don't realize that they have no idea what they're talking about and what they're saying makes no sense. Case in point, there was this woman that he was talking to. She had a young child and she's trying to deprogram her young child that's like between the ages of like 3 and 5 or something to not like only white princesses in children's films. And so Matt Walsh throws back her argument saying that he has a young daughter too and she loves Moana. The woman is like very excited about that. But here's the thing, she wants to dress up as Moana for Halloween. And the woman's like, oh no, wouldn't that be cultural appropriation? Would you buy that costume for your daughter? She was like, no, hell no, I wouldn't do that.
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah.
Just him explaining it. It's just like, where are we at in the world? Like, why are we here? It's so annoying. You have these people, because at the end of the day, it's like, why is this so important? Why are people pushing this on people? But also, who is gaining from this? These people that are teaching these things to people, primarily white people that are very weak and have no backbone, they're making a lot of money. So there's these two ladies, this black lady and this somewhat Indian whatever lady, and they host these race to dinner events where it's a bunch of white women and they pay a lot of money to sit down, eat dinner, and be told the entire night that they're racist.
Clear what's happening in this country. It's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
And then they start bringing up like these two situations that happened that were like viral moments on social media, like the ones with the two white boys, and one had police matter on his laptop and like don't vote for Biden on the shirt, and like this very light-skinned, almost mixed black chick tries to get them to leave because they're in a space that people don't feel safe in. Especially about some of the people that fight for this nonsense. A lot of the black people that fight for this are usually very light-skinned or mixed people. I don't like it when people try to fight for a cause even though they are half of the thing that they're fighting against. You look stupid as hell. I know people that do that, mixed as fuck, but they only fight for the black. I'm like, nigga, you half white too. Like, get it together. Like, this is not your fight. The film basically is him trying to get to Robin DiAngelo because she is just the person that's helping people do the work. How do you de-white yourself and not be racist? Do the work. Do the work. Now, what is the work, you may ask? Don't ask questions. All right, stop. Just do the work. Don't start mansplaining either. Just doing the work. That's all you need to do.
So I'll look around the room and point to who we believe is the most racist person in the room.
Do the goddamn work. Then there was also that viral moment where those two little black girls were at some place where there was a bunch of Muppets. I don't know if it was like Sesame Place or something. And like a puppet came over. There's a bunch of people in front of the kids, people behind the kids, and the puppet did not want to touch the kids. They were trying to claim that was racist. The only thing about it is that, which made it really funny, is that we never knew who was underneath the costume. One would assume it was probably a black person under there. It sounds better to say it's racism because a black person wouldn't just stop and tell kids to not touch them. So we get to the Robin DiAngelo interview, which goes as well as any of these arguments go when you actually throw logic back at them. Well, their logic back at them. There's this character in it named Ben who is the black friend, and he interjects himself in.
We want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument. Would you mind signing it? You will?
Is there a black person around here?
So there's a black person right here. Does he not exist?
And it's funny too, 95% of the film is unscripted, 5% of the film is, and that's the 5% that I really didn't like. We'll talk about that in like a second. Some people are really good at comedy and some people aren't. I feel like Matt Walsh in circumstances like this, really, really good. And being that he's a part of Daily Wire made it even better, simply because people that are in like the religious Christian sphere, when it comes to film and entertainment, they're really not that good. Like, you're not watching it for the Oscar-worthy acting performances because they tend to like get actors that are like in their church, in their communities, and so you're not really looking forward to the acting. You're just there for the message, and if you're not there for the message, you're really not going to enjoy the film.
This is also why Christian or conservative entertainment has been generally so abysmal for so long, because anytime one of us tries to do anything remotely interesting or provocative, there are always people on our side lined up and ready to explain why it's problematic and unbiblical and so on. The best way to avoid those complaints is to be boring, and this is how we on the right have approached art for a long time. It's why most of it has been so woefully bland. It's why very little of it has made any lasting impact on the culture.
You can tell he really enjoyed it. He had a great time. He even went to like the deep south and went to like a very primarily white area to see if racism is big. He went to a primarily black area in the south to see if racism was big.
What do you think about this issue of heteronormativity and how it intersects with the broader structures of racism in society?
And I'm glad that he went to all different types of areas, which made the film to me very good. Like, it was a really good documentary. It had its comedy, had the informative stuff, sad moments, and it had its dark moments. It just worked really well for me. Now, the 5%, what I was talking about comes into play because he had a script for the last few minutes of the film. And you can tell them actors were just friends of his and maybe people from his church. Oh my God, that acting was not good. The reactions went on a little longer than it should. The people reading their scripts, they were just speaking a little little more than they should. It just wasn't funny. Some people have the comedy bug and some people don't. And those actors in that film did not have it. I wouldn't say, oh, I'm not going to watch it anymore. Or I wouldn't recommend people to watch it because of that, the last 5 minutes of the film. No, I think the film was really good. I just think you need to understand it's mostly him reacting to other people throughout the entire film. And then at the very last minute, he throws a script in it. And it's like, you could have threw that goddamn script out. Could have went good with just the whole documentary format that you had. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're always notified about the new videos that I have coming out. Let me know in the comments below, have you seen Am I Racist? And if you did you feel uncomfortable watching it? Because like I said, there were people that were watching this film that got up and left, like not even halfway through the film. And it's like, oh shit, this is triggering because this is me. So I don't want to feel bad. So I'm just gonna leave. And the people that stayed actually enjoyed it. Again, there was some very laugh out loud moments, and I can appreciate someone that's actually doing comedy very well, especially in a time where comedy is basically dead in Hollywood. Like, it's really good to be able to find it, even if it's in a documentary. But let me know in the comments below what you thought about it, if you did see it, and let me know if you don't plan on seeing it at all. So I'd be very intrigued to read both. Check out my podcast. I talk about life as I'm traveling around in Florida, navigating as I'm growing, and it's a fun time. And everything that I discuss will be in the description bar below, so definitely check that out. I love you all. It's hot as shit balls. I wanted to try a different sort of way of shooting because sitting in the car was just too much. The next time I go outside, I'm not going to bring my pocketbook. Super unnecessary. There is no reason for it. And I'll see you all in the next video.